masjid, by the way, I was teaching this in masjid. I was involved with years in this masjid. And subhanAllah, last year I was there for my doctor, my dentist and my friend over there involved with the masjid. And I entered the masjid, mashallah, Friday and Saturday and Sunday. The masjid is full with youth, martial arts, karate, MMA, Quran, hadith, and all kind of ages. Masjid packed. That means they are targeting. We still don't even, those people, by the way, 2 kids, they did that, corrupted family and corrupted community in that people.
Absolutely.
Allah destroyed those people. I mean, I don't care about that. Yeah, but the key brother, we have to wake up.
Well, I think we become complacent. Us Muslims, we feel like waqat Allah.
Salam to everyone first.
I said salam alaikum. But we feel like waqat Allah. It's all it's all in Allah's hands. It's all in Allah's hands. Allah's hands. We've had these issues before where I had to go to the masjids and tell people, get on the member after Friday prayer and tell the Muslims we have to report things that happen to us, right? We have to. And a lot of times the people will come up to me and say, brother, your people, they have these hate crimes happening to them, but they always tell us, hey, don't worry, Allah forgives, so we have to forgive. These are the people, the attorneys, the lawyers that are telling me these things. They say, listen, Muhammad, it's okay, Allah forgives, but we have to have the reports so we can have the charts. We can see how many people are, how your community is being impacted by all this terrorism, right? Because that's what this is, right? This is all terrorism. Coming in, doing what you got to do in a masjid like that, shooting up a masjid, killing innocent people, that's terrorism.
But this masjid is not the first time, this second time.
And so you should, that masjid itself, or that area itself, or that law enforcement presence itself should know, hey, this masjid has been already a target before. We need to kind of make sure that we're watching it.
But this masjid actually, may Allah give rahmah to Brother Amin, he's an excellent man. I know him very well, actually. May Allah give rahmah and mercy for all the people dying. But the key, that masjid really prepare themselves.
And so when you're prepared, look how subhanAllah, it was.
What about the other masjids?
What about the other masjids that don't get themselves prepared like this?
And even the brothers they try to defend because the kids.
Yeah. So this is what I tell you. This is what I try to tell everybody, in our groups, in the masjids. We have to be prepared for these types of things, right? We can't just stay in our boxes and think Allah's going to protect us. Allah tells us to take care of ourselves as well, right? We have to prepare ourselves.
Hold on, do you know this woman actually? What's her name? Go by something. She's telling the government, the president of the United States of America, all the Muslims, regardless what color, what shape, have to be out the United States. In the same time, this country occupied by the Native American. This country occupied.
So that should tell us all.
I'm sorry, I'm angry.
It's angry. It's a lot because when I saw this, I got upset.
Yes.
Right. If you're not impacted by something like this that happens to your own people or to anybody, you have to be upset with this kind of stuff, right? And so I'm sorry, did not know that was still on. If we don't prepare ourselves for the worst case scenario, right? We prepare for the worst, but expect hope for the best, right? So we have to start preparing ourselves. At least for us in our community, what we've done is always got with our law enforcement officials to kind of come into our masjids and tell us, how to react to these things, right? You see a lot of our masjids now, they do have security guys, the one like the Papa has Muslim guys coming and walking around, security all over them. And we do have some of our masjids, but there's masjids that I walk into that have zero people with security.
Yeah.
And you have one guy who's sitting out there on the chair under the umbrella because he's so hot. What's he gonna do when somebody decides to just drive into a masjid on a Friday? And so we as Muslims, we pay for extra security, we try to get extra details going on, but we have to train ourselves to react in a way of understanding how to stop that person from doing what they're doing. And there's plenty of ways we can do that by getting law enforcement officials, by getting anybody in your masjid, right? We talked about last week how, we have to know each other's specific jobs, what we do in career paths. So if you know a guy that's in your masjid in law enforcement, you get with that brother or sister and say, hey, we need some help in this masjid. This just happened. How do we get more trainings in here? How do we get the law enforcement officers to come in here and prepare our kids, our youth, they do it all day in schools, right? They do these trainings in the schools, these drills, right? After drills in the schools where they tell the kids hide under the tables or push the tables to the doors and hide where there's no glass. They do these drills in these public school systems already. Why are we not doing this in the masjids? I mean, we see this happening and we just say, oh, alhamdulillah, it was only 3 people, but 3 people's too many.
Brother, the problem actually, we have some kind of weakness, especially with all my respect, brother and sister, they will go to the masjid, especially the senior, not even American, that they become American.
Yeah.
Those people, they are so, I'm afraid to speak.
I know what you mean.
Yeah, and so very humiliated themselves and the community, and they controlling the masjid.
Yeah, we've had these problems before where, I've gone to a masjid and said, hey, can I go on your member after Friday prayer and tell the brothers this is the problem that I'm seeing in my work, in my line of work. This is the problem that I'm seeing with our people. This is the best time for me to talk on the member while everybody's here. After salah, after everything's done, after the sunnahs, just give me 2 minutes with the brothers and sisters that are here and tell them, hey, this is what needs to happen. This is what we need to do as Muslims. Let me do these things. Oh, no, brother, we don't want to put that kind of information out there. We don't want to scare everybody. We don't want people thinking that this masjid is going to be, And I said, no, that's not what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to nip it in the bud. I'm trying to explain to people. It's basic awareness, right? It's just being aware that this could happen in any masjid, whether it's in California or Florida, or it's in Africa, or if it's in Europe. It doesn't matter. This kind of stuff happen. We saw it in where was it, Iceland, or where they had that big shooting. So if you're not prepared, how would you know how to react, right? And we see these videos, the aftermath, and now these kids that are doing these shootings, or these people that are doing these shootings, they're wearing the cameras to because they want to show people what they're doing. And and we watched the one from Iceland, who he just runs into a masjid.
New Zealand.
What is it?
New Zealand.
New Zealand?
New Zealand, yeah.
Where he went into the masjid and he just walked right into the masjid with guns and everything.
Yeah.
Walks right into the masjid and sees a group of people looking at their phones, watching, a little crowd of people watching. This is what I mean when I say situational awareness. Right?
I believe, brother and sister, right? I know some people will be angry with me with them. Those people in charge of the masjid, and they are so not doing anything.
Mm-hmm.
My advice: they're supposed to be kicked out of the masjid, or come and pray and shut your mouth completely.
There's so much you can do to protect your masjids, right? There's a lot we can do to protect our masjids, and I think the number one thing is being aware that it can happen anywhere.
Exactly.
Right. So if you have a brother or a sister who's in that line of work, right, working for the FBI, working for the law enforcement officers, if you have somebody in your masjid area, in your community, or even if you don't, look outside your community for other people, other Muslims in other communities, other states that are willing to come over to your masjid and say, hey, listen, let me show you guys what to do if this happens. Let's look at the places.
Exactly.
Look at the places where you can hide your brothers. Because when you walk into a masjid, what's the first thing anybody sees when you walk into a masjid? A big empty space.
Yes. Yeah.
Right. It's a huge empty space. So where are people going to hide? Where are people supposed to run to if this happens?
That's why we mentioned this before. Every masjid, our kids is amana. Our kids is a trust by Allah Azza wa Jal. We have really training the kids. The kids actually afraid to go to the masjid. Why? Because salah, hitting the kids.
Yeah.
Not being involved with the activity. The masjid of Rasulullah, the Sahaba, the companion, they are sparing training in the masjid.
This is we weren't supposed to have to talk about this today, but this is something that just happened, right?
They are jealousy.
Yeah.
I believe they are jealous.
It's not just jealousy. I think what happens is a lot of people see how the Muslim ummah is supposed to be like. When they read the Quran, they see what it's supposed to be like. Right?
You're right,
but they don't know that it's not like that.
Yeah.
Right. We are trying to build this. This is what we try to do with these conversations, with these podcasts, with these talks is we try to build our ummah the way it's supposed to be, but it's hard when you're just 2 people or even 100 people trying to make a difference in a world full of Muslims, a billion Muslims, right? We Islam is the perfect religion. I was just with the 8th graders just now, and I was just talking to 8th graders about going to 9th grade and expecting these things to expect, and talking about peer pressure and the mental aspect of what happens when you move to high school, what changes in your mind, in your brain, and your mentality when you go from 8th to 9th. Because now you're not the big boy in the school, you're the little 9th grader compared to the 10th, 11th, and 12th graders. And I we talked about the peer pressure. I said these kids who do these kinds of things, a lot of times maybe there's some mental health issues, it's brainwashing, it's just hatred in their hearts.
But hold on, those youth, 17 or 18, 19 years old, that means the father and the mom and the community, they are doing the same thing.
Not just that, no, it doesn't just include that. It also says, what are they watching on their social media? Right? What are they watching? What kind of news cycling is going on in their feeds, right? When they're looking at TikTok, and are they seeing nothing but hatred for Islam, for Muslims? Because we already have, we talk about it all the time, right? Our government doesn't like us, right? We don't, this westernized government doesn't like Muslims. You go to any other country, they're okay with Muslims. But for some reason, I feel like it's always this country who says, we got to get rid of the Muslims. We hate Muslims.
Actually, France and Germany, it's the same. Not England. Not England. Yeah. Europe, yes, but not all the Europe.
Not all Europe, but we see it here because we live here, right? We live here. We see it here. We see what's on social media. We hear these people who go and see these kids who are praying in the beach by themselves, not bothering anybody. And you have these people throwing pig juice on them or pig meat on them, yelling and screaming. We see these kids who are praying in the parking garage at the university, not bothering anybody, not in anybody's way. But then you see these guys coming and saying, kill all the Muslims. You see these things happening. And at the same time, our brothers and sisters decide, we don't want to report. We don't want to tell the police because we want to move on. No,
coward.
We have to report these things, brothers and sisters. We have to. People don't realize, and I don't think everybody realizes or understands. The more we call, the more we complain, right? Because one of the things I've always talked about to the non-Muslims is, we don't complain. We fear God. We only fear God. We don't fear anybody else. But we have to put our voices out there.
Yeah, they complain to each other.
We complain to each other, but not to the people that can make a change for us. But the more we complain, or the more we report these incidences, whether it's some guy just walking by a masjid saying, "Hey, you look like a terrorist," well, report that. Yeah, he just said something. Oh, it doesn't matter. Still report it. We need a paper trail of all of these terroristic threats. Right? Somebody comes to a masjid, somebody walks by your masjid and thinks it's funny to throw a rock at a bunch of kids going from class to class. Report this. You have to report this.
Yeah. Unfortunately, some, may Allah guide us.
It is, I will say, at least one of the schools here, they've been paying attention to what I'm saying. They are listening to what I'm asking them to do. So they have been making more reports. And that's been helping so much to shine more details, more security, more law enforcement at that area, right, to protect our kids, because that's a school, right? We have kids, and we feel like I feel like we need to make sure we protect our youth more than anything else right now.
Yeah. Wallah, it's very sad. Even the kids surrounding this masjid, Allah, the imam, 2 imams actually. This masjid, 2 imams, mashallah, mashallah, the excellent people there. But I wish all the masajid acting that.
Well,
but do you think something very important, Brother Muhammad? Mm-hmm. Do you think the masajid, in your opinion here, what exactly have to do to protect our community, our masjid? Whoever come to the masjid be protected. Mm-hmm. What do you think?
I think we have to start getting our own security details in there.
How?
So we like the masjid over here, the one that got their own security system, security people out there. Right? You get a bunch of brothers together who are interested in helping out and who are responsible enough to take the trainings, take the classes, get licensed, get certified, and help your masjid, help your local masjid.
Yes.
That's how 1, 2, 5 people make a big difference.
I mean, I can go.
Anybody can go. As long as you're not crazy. Yeah, of course. 18 and up. Go, if you're
It's 18 years old.
18, I believe it's 18 or 21, depending on the states and stuff like that.
According to the state.
Yeah. So just make sure, you read your state's requirements, get together with your law enforcement and tell them we want to get our own security details. I mean, right now you have ChatGPT that you can ask any question you want. So when it gives you the whole answer and how to do it yourself. But here's the thing. Here's the thing I want to really kind of express to our people.
Mm.
When I walk into a public school, doesn't matter what public school I walk into, they have law enforcement, they have security details walking around the schools, campuses, just as much as we have in the jails. So in the local schools, you have 5 to 8 people with blue shirts walking around, making sure that everything's safe and sound and secure, and you have 1 officer in the front. So they have a lot of security in the schools. Why don't we do the same thing in the masjids? We don't need that many people. I know that. We don't need 8 to 10 people walking around as a security detail in a masjid, but we need at least 3 to 4 people who are responsible enough, who are capable enough of and trained and certified to protect our masjids, especially on Eids, on Ramadan, during Ramadan. I mean, we always talk about this. Eid, Ramadan are the 2 times that people come to the masjid the most.
Yeah, exactly.
And Friday prayers.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I mean that's the only time that we all
we get together.
So when we know these things, we see what's happening right now. Like literally, right? And you can't say it was in the past. It's not happening anymore. It's still happening.
Yeah. Actually, what happened right in California, it's gonna happen in different states.
It's gonna happen. It's going. It's just a matter of when is it gonna happen and when is it gonna happen with you.
There's a lot of people sick, mentally sick, sick, and a lot actually.
A lot.
Especially those people. They think we are Christian and supporting Zionism. Also, they think they are a human being.
And so here's what one of the kids asked me today. Brother Muhammad, I think all of our our feeds on our social media, he was telling me, all of our social media feeds are probably the same. Pro-Palestine, because, what's happening around the world. He said, what about the opposite? Because I know, we're seeing this because that's what our algorithm, that's what we like, that's what we want to watch. What about the opposite? And I told him that's exactly what's happened out there. We see the love, the compassion, Islamic rulings, the Islamic knowledge. We see these things, and we start empathizing. We start having a heart. We start feeling good. The other end of the spectrum is what these other people are watching. They're watching the hatred. They're watching the animosity towards Islam. They're watching these people say why we have to destroy all the Muslims. They're seeing their government, their people on top that they're supposed to, I guess, idolize and worship. They're seeing those people yelling and screaming, we got to get rid of the Muslims. These people are watching this, and we're watching this. So if you kind of understand what these other kids are watching, this is why they do what they're doing. They're watching all this anger. They're watching all this hatred. It's very simple, very easy. You think that watching these things, watching certain stuff in your phone doesn't impact you?
Absolutely, yeah.
You watch, how much do you watch about Gaza and what happens? What's supposed to happen?
We sad.
You start to get sad. You start to get hurt. Anybody who watches TV, watches a movie, watches a show, you listen to the music in the background. You see the colors in the screens. You see the images that's happening. It impacts you. Whether it's a romantic movie or it's a scary movie, or if it's something you're seeing in your own about your own country, or if you see something that makes you angry. There's things that make our kids. And look at the ages of these kids. How old were they? These 2 kids that decided to want to do this.
Somebody is 17 or 18.
They're young.
Minors.
Yeah, minors.
Yeah.
So you think about that. You see that. They're very easily to manipulate.
Yeah, but the mom called the police. And then my son took all my guns.
Yeah.
Not my gun.
Yeah.
My guns. And he came with an army uniform.
Yeah, it was planned.
And what the police did? He went to the school.
Yeah, because that's what they expected. That's what they thought. So again, this is why we say all the time. Us masjids, our Muslims. I don't care if you're an old board member, a young board member. It doesn't matter. We're in the year 2026. We're not in 1980. We're not in 2000s. We're in 2026. Where now anybody can get a gun from anywhere and come into our masjid and do something really horrible to our people. If we're not taking 10 minutes, 20 minutes out of our time to talk to our individuals during after Friday prayer. Guys, let's make an announcement. It's as simple as making an announcement after Friday prayer. to your people. They're all there. You got all your brothers there at the masjid on a Friday. Make an announcement. Tell them, hey, listen, we're gonna start. We want to start a security team in this masjid. Is anybody prepared? Can anybody come and help us out?
A lot of youth will accept.
A lot of youth will come and say, you know what, I want to help. I want to help. And then all you got to do is find a brother who is responsible enough to lead this charge. Yes. And help these kids. Help these kids get certified. Do the research. And you tell the kids, do the research. The kids will go on social media and ChatGPT and find out exactly what they need to do to get certified and becoming a security officer. It's not as hard.
Simple.
It's very simple. I mean, this stuff, the power of the internet has made things so much easier for us to learn how to do things, and so much more effective than just having to research and read and understand and learn and ask questions. You have one guy, ask Google, ChatGPT, and you'll find everything that you need to do in order for you to figure out how to do it in your state.
The GPT, actually, this chat, I use it myself. If I ask him about Gaza and this and Palestine, they give me a different answer.
Of course.
They never give me what I need.
Yeah, of course.
That's why I don't use it.
Yeah, they flip flops.
Yeah.
Flip flops things. But if you're a board member at a masjid, if you're an imam at a masjid,
Bismillah,
it is your guys' responsibility to see and hear what's happening in the news and say to yourself, we don't want this to happen in our masjid. How can we protect our youth?
And plus, amana is a masjid amana that people come to regardless what age amana. But also, this is a key. A lot of masajid I know in person. A lot of masajid you didn't see youth involved.
But you know why?
Because some certain people.
Yeah, and we've tried. I've tried in different masjids and told them, hey guys, you want to get the youth in here? Let me give you some advice on how to bring the youth in here. I will come to the masjid and help bring these youth in. Let's just follow these steps to make these kids come in. We need to get rid of certain people and get people out of this place because the youth can't really get with that person. The youth don't really like this person. This person has burned up too many bridges. Let's get that person out of this section, out of this area, and put somebody else in charge. Let's start fresh. This is what I told masjids. I sat there with masjids and I told them, I've been coming to this masjid for plenty of years. I talked to the youth. This is what they told me. They want this person out because this person burned a lot of bridges. They hurt them. They talked trash to them, or they did something bad to them. Let's get that person out. Let's put somebody else in, get the youth in, and let's see what happens. Because once you do something like this, what ends up happening is that person that you got kicked out will now say, okay, I want to come back to the masjid. They'll see what they did was wrong. And inshallah, they'll come back and say, okay, let's all work together to make this masjid a better place. And then you get the, oh, brother, you don't know. Oh, brother, you don't understand. Oh, brother, no, we don't do stuff like this. Oh, brother, what do you want? How do you want to bring the kids in here?
They think those people, my way or the highway.
And that's not going to work. It's not going to work. Because you're going to have these kids now, and, you can see for yourselves. Everybody here can see for themselves. Our kids will no longer be going to the masjids. Our kids will be going to the coffee shops.
Oh, yeah.
All these new Yemeni coffee shops popping up everywhere. That's where our kids are going to be going to. That's where our kids are going to be spending their nights in after Isha prayer. They're going to be after Salah. They're going to go right after that to these coffee shops, hang out with their friends, drink some chai tea or whatever, and stay there all night long just talking and hanging out with their friends. When they should be staying at the masjid, sitting with their friends at the masjid, and maybe inshallah getting some of the deen that's around them. Maybe somebody will have a conversation about some type of Islamic lesson while you're at the masjid. But no, these guys.
Yeah. In fact, I was leading in the masjid. I was asked me to lead the salah. One kid, he always come here at 7 years old in the first line. One man came to him, said, "Go daras." And I said, "What? Go back." I asked him why. He said, "Well, he's a kid." I didn't say anything because I knew. Yeah. I take this kid praying next to me. And then another kid said, "I am here. I'm leading the salah." One kid here. I said, "Come." The other kid, 5 years next to me. And this man got very frustrated.
Yeah.
And what he said? Haram.
No.
And then I said, by the way, if you make something haram, you become kufr.
Yeah.
Kufr.
Yeah.
And then I give a long lecture. I said, this kind of people, they have to shut their mouth pray and be quiet.
Yeah.
If you want really want to the masjid.
If you don't know what
otherwise, you're gonna this masjid will down and down and down.
I'm glad you said that because I saw that here at a masjid on a Friday prayer when I was there. When I got early and I was I was doing my sunnah, sitting down reading, and right when Salah started, the imam, not the imam, but one of the older men, the boy was there from school. He was sitting on the front line. He kicked him out. I was watching this, and he said, "No, you have to sit in the back. You have to go sit in the back. This is already old olds." I said, "No,
it's his right. He came to pray. He's his right."
So I, being the big mouth that I am, I went up and I asked said, "Why would you tell this little kid that he couldn't pray here?" Well, this is reserved for the older people. This whole front row. It's reserved for the old people. The front row. I said, no. That's not how.
That's not Islamic.
I said, that's not. From what I told him, if I don't understand, that's not how Islam works.
No, there's their deen.
If you come to the masjid, you have to sit in the back. You have to come to the masjid before the imam comes.
Yeah.
This is what
I was to here.
This is, and you don't understand. This is. I said, okay, you know what? I'm in my uniform. I don't want to say too much because I don't want to hurt nobody's feelings, and I don't want anybody complaining about me to my people. So I said, okay, it's all good. But you see these things that these Muslims that they're doing, we know it's haram. It's a way you're pushing these kids out of the masjid. That kid now, he's probably been stained by this one individual in the masjid. Do you think he wants to come back to the masjid?
No.
Do you think I would want to come back to that masjid?
A lot of kids, in this case, they left the Islam. I know some kids left the Islam.
SubhanAllah, man.
Yeah, but unfortunately, the masjid have to train.
Yeah.
If we go to the seerah of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, no matter how our Prophet dealing with the youth, with the kids, with the babies, he takes the grandson or the grandkids, he carry the kids and leading the salah. Imagine that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. But in the new religion, with those people, I call it the new deen, the new religion.
The new Muslims.
A new school of thought. We are this school of thought as haram, the school of thought, not the seerah of Rasulullah. But it is frustrating.
But you see the difference between a masjid that's prepared and a masjid that's not prepared.
Yeah, even though masjid prepared with number one, how to deal with the masjid is a community. The masjid is a city.
It's a community. Yeah. It's a safe place. It should be a place of love and appreciation, right? When you go to a masjid, that's what you're supposed to feel, right? You're supposed to feel safe. You're supposed to feel the community. You're supposed to feel togetherness. You're supposed to feel that one ummah. If you're walking into a masjid, and I've done this, in this unit, I go to different masjids all over the county, and I've walked into masjids where I didn't feel right. You don't feel good when you come into these masjids. And I go into these masjids where I went to one that has cats all over the masjid. Cats, they got food everywhere and they're feeding the cats inside the masjid. I said, brothers, this is haram. What is this? It smells. Like, what is this? And so you have so many different, mindsets of how Islam is supposed to be. And I'm like, no, Islam is Islam. It's one religion.
We love cats.
Yeah.
But that cats, I saw this masjid that you're talking about. The dirt of the cat in the masjid.
And I said, how am I supposed to put my head to the ground? How am I supposed to make sujood?
Yeah,
when I see the cat, I see the cat just peed over. It's
exactly that. Pee. Yeah, you're in the masjid.
You're in the masjid, and don't worry, we have a shampooer.
The key, brother, what happened in California really make us, subhanAllah, today was supposed to be the envy and the jealousy and this. Yeah, I believe those people also, Brother Muhammad, yes. They are, Allah said, يَحْسِدُونَ النَّاسِ. They are envy us.
100%.
Why? Because we worship Allah, only Allah, no one else.
Well, because we know what we're doing. We know our purpose.
Exactly. But those also is not even following their Bible, not reading the Torah. If they under in the Bible, if somebody slap you, give the other cheek.
You can walk away. Yeah.
If somebody slap me, I will just
Yeah.
I have self-defense.
Yeah, it's not we're not a passivistic religion, right? If Allah says protect yourselves.
Yeah.
Right? Defend yourselves.
But the key that not even in the Bible. I know it's a fake Bible, but whatever in that book,
they're not even following it.
Not following. Yeah. That's what we are Christian.
We had a talk.
We are Jews.
Yeah, I had a talk with a guy that works, one of my work, and he said to me, I as soon as 9/11 happened, after September 11th happened, I started really, really understanding religion more.
Yes.
And then he's like, then I pushed it, I pushed the religion to the side, and I started focusing on my family. And then all this stuff happened. It was happening in Gaza and Palestine. I started researching it more. You know what he said? He said to me, Muhammad, I had to really understand why all the people up on top tell us to hate the Muslims. So he said, if these people on top, he's like, and I don't like the people on top. He said, if these people up on top are telling us we have to hate a certain group, he said, I had to do my research and see why. And he said, and then I started realizing why. I said, why? He said, why, what's your research? He said, man, if Muslims controlled the world, he said, you don't understand. He said, Muhammad, they're scared. He said, you're going to be taking away all their money from them.
I work on a company. I was an Islamic advisor. You're right with that. And the boss of the company, years ago, I said, if the Muslim pay $1 for zakah for the Muslims, we're gonna own the whole world with our zakah.
Yeah, subhanAllah.
But unfortunately, brother, we are Muslims, but we're not training to be a Muslimin.
Well, one of the things I think also this is something I talked about with the 8th graders today, the boys, right? It's a mix of boys and girls. But I said this conversation is more for the boys. And I said, for us in Islam, as men, because we're going to be in 9th grade. So as men, one of our number one goals is what? And one of the boys, he's like, protection. I said, yeah. I said, us men, it's a responsibility for us to protect, right? Protect everybody. Protect your family, protect your mother, protect your siblings, protect. And I said, if we don't teach our kids this at a young age, to learn how to be selfless, right? Somebody's coming into a masjid with a gun, and you're the first guy by the door, and you're sitting at the corner, and you're making dua, and you look up and you see somebody coming up, and what are you gonna do? You're gonna run? No. I said, you don't run. You go and you look at that guy, and you take that, you try, you fight. Because at the end of the day, if you don't fight, what's gonna happen?
Exactly.
You're done anyway.
Subhanallah, even Rasulullah قال المؤمن القوي خير من المؤمن الضعيف. The mu'min, strong mu'min, better than a mu'min weak.
Of course, 100%.
That Prophet Muhammad. That's our companion, the Sahaba of Rasulullah. Imagine small number, and now almost the whole world by the companion.
And we're still being ruled by a small amount of people.
Especially in the masajid, if you are. But may Allah guide us to right path. But really, with this time of talk, brother, we half an hour past. Really, we need from you an advice for everybody in the masajid, because mashallah, you're involved in many masajid, many synagogue, many church, many Islamic school and public school. You are involved. We really need advice for everyone to listen to us, brother, to follow how to protect ourselves, security, especially for security.
One of the biggest things is training, right?
Training. What kind of training?
Training are our messages, getting awareness, right? Making your congregation aware of what's going on out in the world, and make them aware of how to react when this does happen. Not if this is happening, when it's going to happen, right? If you have your congregation or your message thinking that, oh, we're all the way in the woods and nothing's going to happen to us, that's not the way to think. We have to start to prepare ourselves, train ourselves. So, we do it in the schools. We do it in all the different other places of worship. We do active shooter trainings to all those places.
What?
Active shooter will come into your masjid and show you and train you and show you where to go, what to do, which doors are good.
The police in our area,
and most of the cities, and I know in America, they have these types of trainings offered for free. All you got to do is make the call.
Tell us, please.
Yeah, make the call.
Again. Repeat it.
It's called active shooter training classes.
Classes.
Yes, and they will come into the masjid. Law enforcement officers.
I mean the police corps.
The law enforcement officers will come into your masjid, and they will show you and tell you and teach you what to do if something's going on. If somebody's coming in to threaten the school. That's one simple thing that we can do.
That's the important thing.
It's a very important.
I don't know about this honestly.
And you, as an imam, as a board member, you can make a big flyer, right? A big flyer that says active shooter training for our masjid on this date and time, and you bring all the congregation to your masjid to learn to react to certain situations.
Wow, I don't know that.
Yeah, everybody.
Please, brother, you listen to Lord Muhammad. It's very important. If it is free, number one, to train to protect yourself.
Well, it's free. I know it's free for our community and our county. So maybe inshallah it's free everywhere else. But ask yourself, how much is our lives worth? Right? Even if you have to pay $10 or pay $100 to have somebody come in here and train you guys and train our congregation how to protect yourself, why not? All right, why not spend the extra money to let the guy show you, hey, you have the microphone over here that can be used as a weapon. We look at these things, we see a microphone, oh, we don't see a weapon. We look at my microphone and I don't have anything else on me. I see a microphone, hey, that's a weapon. I'm going to use it.
To protect
yourself, to protect myself, protect the congregation, to protect the youth and that's in the corner reading the Quran. I'm going to protect that brother because we know at the end of the day, you save a life. What is it? It's like you saved all of humanity.
Exactly.
So we know that we get the hasanat anyway for this.
Allah said that in Surah Al-Ma'idah. If a person make him alive, the whole nation alive. A person, but they are responsible. Who this happened in California, mashallah, they targeted some people, did corrupted people, but the other masajid now we have to, especially in our state. I don't know, even Texas, mashallah, there's some masajid. But some people here are very important.
So let me tell you something. When somebody's coming in for an active shooter, they're not expecting resistance.
Indeed.
Right? They're not expecting somebody to come out and jump out and stop them. They're not expecting these things. So this is one of the things that we have to understand. Like they're expecting to just go in, shoot, and go. That's what they're expecting. And we have to understand that we have to train our bodies, our minds, our youth, our men and women to be prepared for stuff like this.
That's also, I believe, an opinion. Also, the other community, non-Muslim around us, we are training ourselves to defend ourselves. They have to know we are a fighter too.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, we're not fighting you, but we have to defend ourselves. We are protecting and defending ourselves.
And this is why I always say, get your local law enforcement involved. Right?
Yes.
Because at the end of the day, you have documentation that says that you try to get with your law enforcement officer, law enforcement in the city, to help you guys become more aware of active shooters. Right? So when we get law enforcement involved, they will come and help because what do they want to do? They don't want to have dead bodies on their, in their cities. They want to stop that from happening. Prevention.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right. So this is how you prevent these things from happening. Then on top of that, the second thing I would tell people to do, and take it for what it's worth, is I would get a certain amount of members to make. I would make the imam make an announcement after Friday prayer and say, we need people who are serious about security. Is anybody here, interested in starting up a security team for our masjid? For the Friday prayers, for community events, for the iftar dinners, for Ramadan, for Eid, you make that announcement as a imam or as a board member, because I know a lot of times the board members grab the microphone after Salah and make this announcement and get yourself a group of names and phone numbers and see who as your own community members wants to help your community, wants to help your masjid. Then you make an announcement, say, brothers and sisters, we're looking for people to help our kids grow in strength and mind and body. Is anybody here capable of providing free karate classes, once a month, self-defense classes?
By the way, I offer myself in masajid. I offer myself. By the way, I'm black belt. I'm black belt fighter. I have karate school used to be. I offer myself. No. They're afraid. They are afraid, even free. Afraid.
It's like when I want to talk about mental health and substance abuse at the masjids. No, we don't want to talk about that because if you talk about it, they're going to get curious and they're going to want to do. Brother, they're already doing drugs and they already have mental health problems. They're not curious anymore.
Actually, one of the masajid, we offer. It's another brother. He's speaking about drugs and this and that. No. And we found out all his kids did drugs. All his kids.
SubhanAllah.
The key, brother, actually, some people actually I don't know what the mentality of those people. May Allah guide them. May Allah guide us and guide them. Ya Rabbi. But really, brother, also we need really the shooting and this good to teach the people that to call them police, or your community, the chief, to come and train us how to defend ourselves.
So here's the other thing too. If we all do this together, if all the masjids do this together in America and Europe, if we all start doing these things together, we start complaining, we start asking, we start requesting, we start making these requests to all the law enforcement officers in each of our communities, the numbers of our Islamic centers requests will go so high that they will start to need extra funding for these things.
Oh.
And so we have to understand numbers matter, right? So when we are getting targeted, when we are getting, thrown bacon at when we're praying, when we're getting called these names, when there's people that will throw a rock over the wall of the masjid when the kids are walking to school and getting called terrorists, and we say, no, we don't want to complain. When we don't request assistance, when we don't put our names out there like this, and we want to stay hidden, we want to stay in the background, they're going to say, oh, there's nothing wrong with them. They have no complaints. The Muslims are cool. They don't need anything. They're fine.
They're coward.
No, they don't say coward.
I know,
they just
but
say,
they are.
Well, we say that. But the law enforcement community will say, oh, we don't have to do anything with our mosques because the Muslims don't have any problems. The Muslims are not afraid. They're fine. Nobody's threatening the Muslims.
Oh my God.
So we're good. So they don't know. So then you get mad at law enforcement for not being ready, or for not being prepared, or for not knowing how to go into your masjid, right? I give the law enforcement an opportunity to say, come into the masjid. How many times have we seen them, the law enforcement officers here coming into the masjid? I take them on a tour of the masjid, right? For two reasons, a couple of reasons. Number one, I want to show them, and this works. Guys, this really works. The deputies, the law enforcement officers, they will look at your bookshelves in your masjids, and they will see books like the one deputy who saw the book on Jesus. And then he starts asking questions about Jesus, how the Muslims view Jesus. So it starts the conversation. The other reason is I want the law enforcement officers to know where the doors are, where the entrances are, where the exits are, where the cameras are, so they can get a viewpoint of what is going on and how to protect the masjid the best.
No.
Right? We do this thing. It's called crime prevention through environmental design. It's a training that a lot of us take. And it's to basically walk around a building and see how we can make the building safer, right? With not having to spend millions of dollars on security. It's a matter of saying, like the other day I went and did a building, and I told the lady that owned the business, did you know that there's a big hole in your back door that's wide open? So I didn't know this. She says to me, I didn't know this. I go, ma'am, look, this door is wide open and people can come right into your business, steal everything. She said, oh my God, I didn't know this was happening. Thank you for catching this. And then, ma'am, did you know that camera is pointing at the wall? It's not pointing at the parking lot. Little things like this that can make it safer for people. Yes. That's what law enforcement is trained to do. That's what we are trained to look for.
Oh, thank you. Very important to watch this, listen and speak to your community. Don't feel shy.
Don't feel shy. And awesome. And also, please, if you have a community member who's very knowledgeable, knows how to speak very eloquently, very kind, right? Because remember, in Islam, we have to be kind with our words, right? Talking in a nice tone. Go to your local law enforcement agency face to face. Hey, my name is Brother Mohammed. Actually, my name is Mohammed. I'm from the masjid over here. We just had a problem in San Diego. We're really scared. We're a little nervous. Is there anything you could do to help us out? Maybe do some situational awareness, do some active shooter training. Is there something that your agency can do for us, please, at this masjid? We invite you guys. Okay, let's set up a date and time. We'll come over there and do something for you guys. And when they come, pull in all the stops, bring them food, bring them drinks, bring them coffee, and have a dawah. Yes, thank you. Because at the end of the day, you just brought all these non-Muslims into your masjid to help you and let them see who we are. Because I've noticed these last 5 years I've been doing these iftar dinners with the sheriffs and with the community and our cities. And subhanAllah, this year we had 25 different iftar dinners out of the 30 days of Ramadan. 25 of those were with outside community members, cities, law enforcement officers, different districts.
I was one of them.
You were there.
Yeah.
So when you when you do stuff like this and you allow the non-Muslims to come into your masjid and you allow them to intermingle with your people, they start to ask a bunch of questions. This guy this brother, I call him brother because he converted, about the book of Jesus. You know, he didn't know. I have another lady who said, we thought we prayed to Mohammed. Oh my God, no, and it was an easy conversation to start that conversation. You're doing so much with just one invite.
Yes. Telling us we can change, brother. Really, we can change. We are the best, actually. Allah chooses us the best. The key also, we have to understand the community is amana. The masjid is amana. Yourself is amana. I have to fulfill the amana.
Yeah, and you said
I need the water, brother. Sorry, I don't know why I'm thirsty so much.
This is a very, I got you.
This is with your mint.
Oh yeah, I got you.
That your mint.
Okay.
Bismillah.
I know why. You know, we talked to our kids today when I was with the 8th graders. We were talking about the peer pressure aspect of it all. When you said, you know, we're the best. My motto, and the kids know my motto, is, you know, we're Muslims, we're built different. And I was explaining to them the situations that was happening this week with the seniors trying to make the 9th graders do crazy stuff, and these weak 9th grade minds were following these seniors. They're scared, or they want to fit in, and they want to be like the rest of the crowd. And I kept telling the kids, we're not like that. We're not followers. We are Muslims. We are leaders. Islamically speaking, Islam is all about leadership, right? And this is what I told the kids. Like, we've learned, you have the foundation for the last 8 years of your time in school. The foundation that you guys developed in Islamic school has been taught to you guys as leaders. So when we go into these public schools, we're not followers. We lead the other kids.
Yeah, exactly. In fact, we have a Friday night school. We have a lot of people come. Official people come, with the police came, and some people from the government came to speak. And some certain, and a woman also from the government to speak. With dress, but without hijab. Some ignorant, I say, the ignorant. Haram. I said, brother, what is the haram exactly? She have no hijab. I say, when I don't know, Rasulullah masjid, a lot of non-Muslim worshipping idols, they keep Rasulullah. He never kicked them out.
No,
haram. In our deen, in your deen, not my deen.
And it's amazing you say that, because you've seen these events.
Yeah.
You've seen the events that I do.
Yes, mashallah. Yeah.
And I've had all these women deputies and sergeants who would always come and say, you know, Mohammed, do I have to wear hijab? No, you don't have to wear hijab. It's okay. You don't have to. No, but, you know, out of respect for your brothers and sisters, we want to, if you want to wear it, you can wear it. If you don't want to wear it, you don't have to wear it. You're in your uniform.
You respect our deen.
Yeah, you're in your uniform. You're here for work. You're not here to, you know, do anything else. So you don't have to. It's okay. And subhanAllah, they wanted to. And they took, you know, they put the hijabs on, they took their pictures with everybody, and mashallah, they had a good time. And so it wasn't as if, like, you know, and I did have a brother who said, no, brother, they need to wear a hijab. I said, no, brother, they don't. These women are here to work.
Not Muslims.
They're not Muslims. They don't have to wear hijab. They're coming to the masjid. This is how we invite people to the masjid.
But some people become very angry because they are not. Say, brother, before hijab, speak about Islam. Speak the Islam before the hijab.
Yeah. And I've said that so many times, and I think this is why one of the reasons why I get into a lot of trouble from the board members, because I speak too much about the dumb rules that they make that's making people not come to the masjid.
Yeah.
And when you're kicking out non-Muslims, what do you think you're doing to the kids, our own youth? When you're talking like this to the non-Muslims, imagine when you're talking to the youth. When you see the youth playing basketball and it's a time for Isha prayer, and you're going out there and yelling and screaming at these kids to come and sulli. Do they want to sulli after that? Do they want to pray after that? No, they're going to say, khalas, I don't want to go pray with them. I'll go pray when I get home.
Actually, in our community, no message. In our community, also the police came to speak. He got very frustrated. Say, brother, what is the meaning of La ilaha illallah? What is the meaning of La ilaha illallah? What? I'm a Muslim. Say, I understand you are Muslim. But what is the meaning? I am a Muslim. What is the meaning? La ilaha illallah. You have no idea. No idea what La ilaha illallah. The key, number one, even we mentioned this many times. The first ayah revealed to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam when it become before he become a prophet. Iqra read.
Absolutely.
اقرأ.
100%.
But those people, now the اقرأ, they not make a قراءة or reading. They're following a blind school of thought. A blind.
Or culture. A lot of times we follow culture as well.
In fact, I believe it's not the religion, is a culture.
It's culture. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Yes, some people, actually, Brother Muhammad, correct. They're following culture, not our deen. That's why, لَكُمْ دِينُكُمْ وَلِيَ دِينِ. Allah said that. This is your deen, and then my deen is different than your deen.
And so when
you pray 5 times.
Yeah, and so when you're doing this as an adult and your kids are watching you do these things, our kids become more culturalized than they do religion, right? So it kind of just trickles down the ladder of our children to our children's children, and this is when we lose Islam, right? After the third generation,
unfortunately, yeah.
So when I talk to the kids a lot of times, and today with the 8th graders and the 7th graders, I was explaining to them that we have to remember what it means to be a Muslim, right? And so I go down the line asking them, what do you think it means? What do you think it means? Just to kind of get their answers on them. Because when I'm in the classroom, they kind of talk a little bit more freely than they do when the real teachers are with them. And so you hear these answers, and you ask yourself, okay, you just said, Islam means boring. Okay. Oh, okay. I don't respond. I don't do anything. I just, in my head, I said, okay, I got to remember when that kid said this. So then after the class, I pulled that kid to the side. Why did you say, for you, it means boring? Right? Why did you say that? I just want to ask, away from everybody. I didn't talk to him in front of the kids. Well, because, my mom and dad don't pray because they know it's boring anyway. So I just pray when I'm in the school. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
That's good to know. I said, okay, I'm so sorry that you feel this way, but I told this kid, I said, next week I have from now until next week, I have a homework assignment. I said, I want you to pray in the house in front of your mom and your dad. Let them see that you're praying.
Oh,
and she started laughing. She goes, if I do that, what's going to happen? She said, well, if I do that, brother, they're going to, look at me funny. Who cares? I said, do you care about your mom and dad looking at you funny, or Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala looking at you with a smile on his face? What's more important to you?
Actually, Brother Muhammad, in our masjid, Islam, one brother come to the masjid, and I said, mashallah, your son always come to the masjid. I said, Brother Ibrahim, I never pray in my life. I came to the masjid, I learned this from my own son. Yeah. Her son in Karachi, he's in college, Miami University, and he's a Muslim, but he never prayed. But now in the beginning, I thought, mashallah, you always bring your son. In fact, my son Ibrahim. Bring me to the masjid, make a pray 5 times because of my son.
Yeah. I mean, it's a simple
plus kids,
and we see this with the woman with the hijab, right? And something I told the females today, the 8th graders, because a lot of them, they wear the hijab only because they're in an Islamic school. They didn't wear the hijab outside. And I said, if you wear the hijab, other than just in the school, mashallah alayki, you got some good strength, because when you go to the school, you're gonna notice that a lot of times, a lot of the kids won't play pranks on you, or they'll kind of stay away from you, because the hijab is more like a shield.
Yeah, a shield.
It's a shield for you.
It's a lot
of times.
I love this statement. Shield.
And the girl, mashallah, apparently she just started wearing the hijab, and she said she got a big smile on her face when I said this, and all the other girls who were kind of cheering her on. And I said, when I go to the schools and I see the girl who wears a hijab walking around the campus, a lot of times she's walking with other Muslims.
Oh, right.
Because a lot of times the non-Muslims will kind of more or less stay away from they can't touch her. They can't. And I always tell them, please, brothers and sisters, don't. I tell the girls all the time. I always tell you guys, put your hand on your chest. When you want to say hi to a guy, don't let them shake your hand. Don't let any men touch you. We have this protection over our females. And I told the boys, I said, it's harder for you because they're not gonna know you're a Muslim until they hear your name.
Yeah, it's correct.
I said, but for the females, that hijab is the shield against the world, against haram.
Yeah,
away from you.
Treasure.
It's a treasure.
Indeed. Yeah.
And so it's kind of it kind of the way you verbalize everything, the way you talked about everything, really impacts the way these kids take what you're trying to say. Because a lot of times, one of the brothers at the school said to one of the teachers, "I say the same thing Brother Muhammad says. I say the same thing Brother Muhammad says. How come they don't listen to me?" And the sister was like, "You don't say the same thing Muhammad says. You don't say it the way Brother Muhammad says it.
The way, yeah.
You could probably say the same thing I'm saying, but with a louder voice or with a different tone or in a rougher way. But at the end of the day, if you just sit and talk with a kid at their level, We always talk about this, right? We
Yes,
talk about that level. They will understand. That girl, when I told her just to pray in front of your parents, and she started laughing, but I could see her nervousness. I said, but you don't realize what you can do. What you will pray, you praying does to your parents. It's going to make them feel some type of way. It's going to make them more upset with themselves. And that's going to make them feel guilty about themselves. I said, just like a girl, a little daughter who starts wearing hijab before her mother. When you see that happening, and you see that mom said, oh my God, my daughter's 6 years old or 8 years old or 11 years old and she's wearing hijab, what's going to happen? And I've seen it with my own daughter where she started wearing the hijab and all of a sudden the people around her started wearing hijabs. It's a trickle effect.
Okay. Yeah, you heard. Brother, time is running fast, subhanAllah. May Allah give rahmah, mercy for the brother that passed away in San Diego and all the Muslims. May Allah protect all the masajid, all the Muslims all over the world.
Sure.
Brother and sister, this advice of Muhammad today was beautiful, but not only listening, sharing with sunnah followers, sharing to others, and listen and protect yourself, run your household, and protect your community is amana and trust. And alhamdulillah, our country, we have freedom to speak.
Alhamdulillah,
we have to speak and take opportunity, Brother Muhammad, take it as soon as possible. Any become negative, don't regard this paper. Yes, the negative, every household sometimes negativity.
Everywhere.
But now we have to be more optimistic, open mind, and open heart, and speak and do to protect your community.
And have no fear. Have no fear. If you're a board member, if you're an imam of a masjid, it's your responsibility.
Yes,
it's your responsibility to say, okay, guys, this is just what happened. We have to protect our youth. We have to protect our members. How do we do this? And I'm giving you guys a lot of different ways of doing it.
MashaAllah.
Alhamdulillah.
I'm learning and I apply it myself.
Inshallah.
And everybody can apply it. May Allah guide us and protect all the Muslims, Ya Rabbi.
Sure.
We're gonna stop here, brother. It's 1 hour exactly. It happened. I don't know how. Sometimes
it was a fast.
Very fast because what happened really in the Muslim world, especially what happened in California, and especially I visit California. That message, especially I was involved with the teaching. It's very, very sad.
Yeah, it's
very sad. And I believe even non-Muslims sad about this.
Yeah.
Some certain local people, with that woman, I don't want to mention name now, kick all the Muslims from America.
Yeah.
That means kick everyone who occupied America.
Listen, if it happened once, it's going to happen again.
Yes.
It's a matter of, it's not just a matter of when, but where. And so you guys, we all need to be prepared. We all need to be safe. And we need to please take the advice that we've talked about today. And inshallah, we protect our people, inshallah.